2023. We're going to stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we're going to...
Is there any public comment?
Correct. We're gonna just continue a public comment here, so...
But I have a question.
Yes.
Before public. So you're asking for 15% relief where none is allowed, 15% disturbance of perimeter trees where none is allowed. Where are you talking about taking these trees down?
You see, right where basically, so right, this line, this is where the line will be drawn.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the new parcel. Everything you see on this side of the line that's not dark green, that's disturbance. Because right now, it's basically all green, all forest. And the way disturbance works is that even if, to facilitate, let's say, construction of the driveway, you have to remove some trees to get in there, and you plant trees afterward, that's still considered disturbance.
I know.
That's where the number comes from. That's basically everything you see there that's not dark green.
So the light green.
Correct.
My concern is, like, right on the other side of the mountain, a quarter of a mile away, Mount Gilead Church, someone built a two-story building there, which just totally destroys the view from the church and the cemetery. And it never should have been allowed to happen. And I'm sure he wanted to build a one-story building there, too.
Well, but again, this is, if it's a condition, you are illegal, it would be illegal for us to move.
So are you here tonight asking us whether we're going to be in favor, against, or neutral? Why are you here tonight?
We're here tonight because we know that the board viewed the initial plan that was presented with 7 or 8 requests. We've done a lot since then, and what I believe is that being as we've made some strides, and from a zoning perspective and environmental perspective, what we're presenting here is not an impactful project. We're asking the board to reconsider that decision to oppose the project. Not asking for full-throated support. This still has to go through a variety of steps and has to go through the zoning hearing board, where every neighbor here will be heard by the board before they decide. And what we think is that a neutral position would be appropriate in light of the vast reduction in the relief we're requesting. And at the end of the day, it's going to be 2 houses on more than 8 acres, which is allowed in Buckingham Township, with an amount of trees on this property that's more than allowed in Buckingham Township, and a lack of slope of disturbance, which is also allowed in Buckingham Township. And we know that neighbors may have some very real and credible concerns about this development impacting their homes. But when we come before the zoning hearing board in January of next year, John will provide testimony. We will have our soil testing reports there for people to view and for people to ask questions about. And we think that's an appropriate forum for all of this to be discussed and for all of this to be actually decided by the zoning hearing board. And I don't feel, especially in light of all of the work that John put into this, to make this plan as non-impactful as you see, I don't believe this warrants an opposition by the board. I don't believe this warrants Craig's time having to go and argue one way or the other for a single-family home that's generally in compliance.
I have to disagree with that. I would vote that Craig would be there to protect the township.
Bryce, I have one
Yeah.
follow-up question. Rich Myers, the zoning officer, sent you an email on September 14th indicating that even with the revised application, you thought there were some other things that you should have changed. Like the required Lot 2 take access from Lower Mountain Road, which would make the area behind the proposed house on Lot 2 a rear yard requiring a 50-foot setback. Are you familiar? You're familiar.
I'm familiar with that.
Okay. Do you believe there's any validity to any of that?
Well, I believe the main issue was the need to buffer, and we did not have that prior to his email. So that's one of the reasons why we asked for a continuance to reconfigure the home and adjust the location so we could provide the buffering that's required by the ordinance, which we're now doing. So that was the big takeaway from that, because to be honest, that's a huge concern. You know, the location of the house, especially in relation to the neighbors, and the need to provide buffering, which is, you know, exactly the point that was raised earlier in terms of, you know, people's views and what people are purchased when they purchase their property.
And then he also indicates a variance would also be needed for the side yard, 30 feet plus 50-foot perimeter buffer. You're saying that's also been addressed?
Correct, been addressed. Rear yard and side yard. And the reason, and I know it was mentioned earlier, the fact that the house's location up here compared to the street, there's a couple reasons for that. You know, first, first, obviously, I believe that Mr. Forrest just mentioned that there's another property nearby where there was construction closer to the street, and it destroys the view. Here, this will be actually in the woods, so it should not have any impact on the view from the street. And also, the reason why this is the prime location for the house is because that's where the property flattens off. That's where the slope is not as much of a hindrance. So if we move the house upward, you are dealing right there with slopes. And that's one of the big reasons why we had such trouble with this, is to snake the driveway through there, considering the slopes in that area. It was just very difficult.
Nonetheless, I think we would all agree, would we not, that without variances, you can't subdivide property.
That's why we filed the application. That's why we're going through the process. So we need those variances. And again, we're just narrowed it down to 3, which again, we specifically designed to be as minimal as possible.
Did you want to speak?
Yeah, can I speak?
Sure.
My name's Jerry Barnard, 4991 Mountaintop Road West. I've lived in this property for 30 years. I didn't get an invitation to this meeting tonight. One of my neighbors called me and told me about it. If I could just show you,
Yeah, where are you at?
this is what Lower Mountain Road. This is my property here.
Got it.
And my house is right about here, right about on this line. So I think it might be like 60 feet from my kitchen window. So I'm disappointed that after living here for 30 years, my view is going to be screwed by a house right here. If they have a barking dog, I'm done for. I mean, I've lived in a quiet, peaceful location, and I don't see why. And I don't understand the law. I just want you to know my point of view. I don't understand if he wants one house on 8 acres, why this house isn't of use to him. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a crazy long driveway. It seems like there's more disturbance than,
You have one more.
Yeah, I know, I was gonna say anybody else. Go
it
ahead,
seems like there's more disturbance than 15% perimeter, because the driveway is crazy long.
Well, again, the reason why is because we would love to just take it straight up, but you can't because of where the slopes are.
Yeah.
If you look at the original plan, to avoid those slopes, the driveway snake, it was probably twice as long. So by trying to, navigate the slopes as well as we can, that's why we ended up with this. And it works well from a practical standpoint, it works well from a legal standpoint. And again, it protects everything you see there in dark green, which is a vast majority of the lot.
Any of the neighbors, who else, because Maggie, I can't see hands, but
I'm your eyes.
yeah.
I just have a quick,
Yeah.
hi, my name is Mary Benetton, I'm Randy's wife. She said it better than I did. I had a prepared statement, but as usual, she did it better. I'm a retired teacher. We moved out here 8 years ago on the mountain that Dan's family grew up on. This whole mountain was Dan's family's mountain.
And the valley.
And, right, exactly. And I love the stories, I love all of it. I love my neighbors. And we have a beautiful view. And that driveway is going to be our new view. And that's upsetting. So right now, that looks like a big green shoe to me. So if you look at the top of the shoe and not the sole, okay, that whole area, that's our property. So basically, that's our deck, our hot tub, our pool, and our view, which is all wooded and beautiful. And in the winter, we have a full view. We can see the Sour Mountain Ranges over in New Jersey. So we definitely have an interest in this building. And from day one, when we first met Mr. Van Natta, he came over upset about a whole tree thing. We thought we worked it out, and then we realized that unless we allowed him to build this like through Dan's property in an easement, we were going to be in legal trouble. So it was like, this is a neighbor, like you want to live near us now? Like, I don't get it. Like, I grew up in Lambertville. My father was the longtime building inspector. My uncle was the mayor. My other uncle was the police chief. Thank you for voting no the first time. I was on the sewage authority in Lambertville for 15 years, so I know what civic stuff is. And this is just, it didn't have to go this way. Like, he had a nice house down there that he could have built another one on. There was a beautiful pond and a ton of frogs. Suddenly the frogs are gone, the pond is dredged. It's like, you know, it just doesn't make sense, and it's not why we live in Buckingham. We live in Buckingham because we follow the rules. We got a permit for everything we've ever done, and that's what you're here for. And I really appreciate everything you're saying about the neighbors and how important it is. And
Well,
thank
you gave
for
me a
bringing
good,
out-
you gave me a good example, right? So, and again, this is no, I'm not making judgment, but I'm saying is, when you moved there, and that was a vacant lot for sale,
Right.
you knew that there could be something
I
there.
mean, trust me, I don't wear clothes
You
in the
know?
hot tub, and nobody wants to see that ever. So, you know, our lifestyle will change, you know? I mean, it's privacy, it's so private now.
We have zoning ordinances for a reason.
Exactly, exactly.
And, I mean, for me, that's my Bible.
I appreciate it. Thank you for your service.
One more question.
Yeah.
My name's Michael Masco. I live at 5122 Lower Mountain Road, on the corner across Hollicon Road from the property, right here.
Got it, okay.
And one initial concern that I had was the use of the property for an Airbnb. We mentioned this back in June. It's taken now 7 months to evidently put an end to the use. But I was concerned about having transient neighbors, not knowing who's living next door from one day to the next, 1 week to the next. Second concern, and it really relates to a neighbor who couldn't be here this evening. Her name is Pamela Hahn. She lives across Lower Mountain Road. In fact, her name is right here, so directly below the new construction. Right now, all of the water that's flowing down the mountain that was mentioned is not causing a problem.
Well, that was one of the things I was thinking about, is because we had someone here, didn't we have someone here like 3 months ago? And he was doing work, and we were talking about the stormwater, and there was no problem with the current stormwater that was happening. You even mentioned it at the meeting.
So there's not a problem now, but for some reason, because of the construction, a stone dry well will need to be constructed. And approximately how many cubic feet, or the measurement that you gave us?
It's about 5,000.
5,000 cubic feet. It's a very large stone dry well that will need to be constructed because of this proposed construction. Another concern I have, the water, the underground water flows along the bottom of the mountain. And I'm not sure which way it flows, but I'm concerned that...
Towards 413.
Okay, towards 413. But I'm concerned that another well would impact either for me or for my neighbors. I'm drawing from 35 feet, about 35 feet from Lower Mountain Road. So again, I'm not an engineer, but that's certainly a concern that I would raise. Also, I noticed on the drawing the pre-existing trailer residence that's been there for many, many years is here. There's just a very faint outline of the new construction. It's a 2-story building. It's called a garage, but is it true that the square footage exceeds the square footage of the previous building?
The square footage of
The 2-story new construction, it's a very big building next to the old building.
So you're asking the total square footage?
Does the square footage of the new construction exceed that of the trailer that's been there for many years?
It's not a trailer, it's a
I guess
modular home.
I
It's a
don't know the
modular
answer to that
home.
because I wasn't really having
Just-
bearing on
Okay.
the front end.
Well, again, my question, and other people have asked the question, Mr. Vanetta has owned the property for 3 years. If he wanted to have a house on Buckingham Mountain on this property, why didn't he demolish the old building? And the previous owner did inform me that it was a trailer, but whatever. Why didn't he demolish that? Why did he construct a new 2-story building there instead of concentrating on his desire
Well,
to...
because he wants, I mean, I think it's simple. He wants to split it up, have two houses,
Okay.
sell one. I'm not saying this is bad, I'm just saying intention. I mean, it kind of makes sense from a monetary standpoint. You buy a lot, you get approval to split it up and you sell one. I mean, by itself, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, but that's why I think they're doing it. I mean, it's not bad or good.
Okay, well, those
Yeah.
are my concerns. Thank you.
Any more questions from the neighbors? Okay, because it's 8 o'clock, almost 8 o'clock.
Yeah. I just want to make sure
Mrs.
everybody,
Wendy.
A lady.
Came here.
Mrs. Wendy.
She's gonna-
so,
I'm Marilyn Wendick. What caught my attention earlier in this meeting was that it's your understanding, board, that Mr. Vanetta is seeking your good graces. And I didn't realize that our zoning included good graces. I just didn't realize that.
That's my fault. I used that language, and I apologize. It might have been inartful.
Yeah.
The zoning is what the zoning is. I was simply pointing out that the applicant was here to ask the township not to oppose his application to the zoning hearing. And so I characterize that as good graces, and if I did that, it was inappropriate. I apologize.
Well, this is the first time that we came to a supervisors meeting over this incident.
But we did send the solicitor in to the zoning hearing board meeting because we
Yes.
opposed it. So we can either be in favor of it, we can oppose it, or we can choose a neutral standpoint. We did send our solicitor in last time, so that's why these guys are here today.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah. And it is, just one little other clarification. I mean, obviously, we all know, that's why the zoning hearing board is there. They're a group of neighbors to look at situations. Sometimes no neighbors disagree, and sometimes, but it is a legal remedy. It's a legal remedy that people could use.
But we have no
We have
control
no
over
say
what
in it.
the zoning hearing, they are a separate entity.
Legal
We're
entity.
able to,
Autonomous.
as
It's
John and
autonomous.
Paul said,
Yeah.
if it's something we oppose, we are able to send our solicitor to oppose. And honestly, so much of the time, we'll say, all the time, is there neighbor opposition?
Right.
And if there's no neighbor opposition, we don't ask Craig to go and,
Correct.
I
It- yeah.
further would like to point out that the driveway starts out, and I don't know if there's a 50-foot setback from the pond.
that's not the driveway, that's
And
in our package.
that was not a
Yeah, it's a
variance that
I
they
don't think.
spoke about tonight. But I'm not sure
Yeah.
that driveway starts 50 foot away from the pond. And I do think that's a requirement.
Well, I can tell you this, if they get variances and they miss a few, they gotta go back and start all over again. So it's incumbent on them to make sure they ask for all the relief that they need, or they can't build it.
Well,
So if they missed it, they've got a problem.
well, I think it's being missed.
Okay.
I think it's being overlooked.
Okay.
All right.
I just want to make sure, there's pro and con, all sides, has everybody said what they needed to say,
And including,
including you? Is that-
including the
Yeah.
property
Yeah.
owner. in all
I'd
fairness.
just like to set the record straight on some
Yeah.
of this stuff. I've been working on my garage for a while. I'm trying to, on a budget. My wife has hurt her back, and we live in a two-story condo in New Jersey, and we definitely want to move here. There's a lot of those wonderful vanity yard signs that are in obstruction to my fine neighbors was having my trees cut down so they would have a valley view. Having my trees cut down so they would have the view. And things have not gone well since then. And I was contemplating legal action. You know, frankly, in the interests of not smoothness, making life everybody, that's not going forward. You know, as Rich and Mark will say, I'm getting my inspections. I'm working on this place slowly. It's 24 by 37 or 38 or something. It's not that large, but it is 2 stories, which is garage underneath. And my wife, on her, when she's not lying in bed, is an artist. She does oil painting and sketching, and I've got all these beautiful windows in there, and she'll have the north light on the one side and the other things on the other side. It really is, it's a painting studio. It's got a half bath, that's it, and and parking below. And I would disagree with a lot of the characterizations that have been presented tonight. I'm not one of those. I'm not a BS artist. I'm an IT guy. Okay. I try to make it straight. I don't always know the rules when I'm starting out. I'll learn them. I'll comply with them. That's a lot of what's going on here. It's a nice property. It's I'd be happy living here. It's not like I'm a developer or anything like that. I need a 1-story house. My wife has been able to get out of bed more recently. And basically this is our goal. The house/trailer is we call it a manufactured home. It was it was brought in 2 pieces, right? The house there was brought in 2 pieces, right? Yeah.
It's a modern.
It's not a trailer. It's an early manufactured home. And trying to fix that up and such like that. So that's what
Okay.
that I'll answer any of your questions. Again, open book. So,
Okay.
Well,
Thank you.
very much. Okay, if that's it, I'd like to ask if there's any public comment other than this issue. Am I not seeing anything?
Yes.
What?
Take a
Wrap
position on
this
this issue
Yeah,
first.
hold
Yeah,
on
we
a
have to
second.
wrap
They
the poll.
Wait a
These
second,
guys
so
have to
these
leave.
people can go home.
Got
We
it.
need to,
They just have to wrap this meeting up.
Good, Mike.
well, I'll just say that the neighbor issues aside, I agree with everything Paul says, but I'm really not in favor of granting those 3 asks for relief. Removing the 36 caliber tree is a no-no for me. Disturbance of the perimeter trees is a no-no. And, quite frankly, we have setbacks for a reason, and I think we need to respect that part of the zoning.
Yep, I agree.
Aren't we
Okay.
honoring all the setbacks?
Any more questions from us?
Appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone's free to go.
Yeah, if there's any,
I think they don't
Or you can
understand
stay.
that the township will continue to oppose this.
No, I explained that.
And
so the outcome of this is that Craig will be attending the next zoning board hearing meeting, if there is one, from the township. continuing our last position.
Okay? Good?
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming.
Mr. Wendig, good seeing you again.
Said it was good to see you.
Now, public comment.
Public
Now
comment.
public comment.
Any other exciting stuff? No, okay. And just say your name and address for Lord. Yeah, and just say, but don't move that because the camera has to stay steady.
Yeah, the camera's in front of you.
Yeah, don't move the camera. So, what's your name and address for Lord?
It's Matt O'Donnell.
Yeah, I know.
We know who he is.
I know, I was just trying to be
Hey,
official.
I don't know your name.
Matt's a
Matt-
friend of mine, he lives in Stony Brook. Him and his wife Jill.
So, this will only take a few minutes, but my notes just went blank. So, I'm representing Stonymead, which is a development in
Yeah.
between Mechanicsburg
Yeah.
and I'm sure everyone knows Long Lane. So, I'm the president of the HOA, it's a volunteer position. I hope not to be in it too much longer. But, just a few things, for the record, just a real quick, brief history. The original developer went bankrupt, and the community, the 27 neighbors, have been basically completing the development to get dedication. We're very close. We replaced the bridge, that was very expensive, and we just modified the 2 water basins. They're complete, the as-built is into the township. So basically, that's it from any development all the development that we can do is done. It's now a matter of like approvals and reviews. The as-built was just submitted this week, so we're not
Yeah.
expecting an approval on that like in this meeting. But there's 3 things I just want to go through. So one, with the as-built, again, it was submitted this week, not expecting that Dan would have had time to approve it. But I am hoping that we can put a little focus on it and move it forward, like, if he has any challenges, let's just get on that, so maybe if he can try to do it in the coming weeks before the holidays. So that's the one thing, just a little bit of focus on that. And by the way, all the contract, like, the work was done to the spec, so we don't expect anything that's not gonna be compliant. The as-built should map the original plans. So it should
Dan
be,
has some concerns with the as-built, not for the township, because he'll let him go, but the Conservation District may have some problems, and frankly, he's already called the Conservation District and ran some interference for you, hoping to get it, because your MPDS permit expires on the 14th of March.
that's the third point I want to raise. So yeah, I heard something that maybe there's a concern with not actually what was built, but the as-built. And like, let's just get over this, right? We spent close to $1 million getting this place to where it is. Let's try to get through the last points.
That's why Dan's trying to run some interference for you.
Okay, well, I'm hoping that we can continue to do that. So the other part is we contracted a developer, his name is Sheeran, to do the work with the water retention basins. We don't have enough to pay him for the work that was done over the summer. We realize that there's an escrow, there's not enough either. We have some of the money. So I think there's about $60,000 in the escrow, and some of that money's already allocated. One ask is that we get, as we discussed over the summer, Craig and Dan, if you recall, releasing some of those funds to us. If we could get somewhere in the order of $25,000 of the 60, we have the rest, we could pay off that builder and make him whole, and that would be the last major thing. This would still leave money in escrow for you to complete the dedication, about $25,000.
Yeah.
So the ask is that we get access to some of the funds in the escrow. We think about 25 would be enough, because we have the rest. Does that make sense?
Yes, but the bill is over $50,000.
Yeah, we
for
have
the
some,
as-built.
we have about half,
Okay.
so we need the other half.
Okay.
So we're trying to, the HOA, we did a special assessment of $810,000. So we've paid off the bridge, we've paid off a lot of things. So we have enough we don't have enough to pay him, we have enough to pay about half. So with your 25, we could pay him off. And that will still leave money in the escrow, right? So the ask is, take a look at it, see if you can, if we can find a way to release a portion of the funds. I think the estimate I got tonight was 25, maybe 30, but we know that you need money still in there to finish things off, but, if we can release some of it, we'd appreciate it.
And I think, Matt, we've already, definitely correct me if I'm wrong, I think we already committed a while ago that as long as the township has enough to cover what we need to do, what we have left over would go toward that. So I think we've already committed to that. We just need to make sure the taxpayers have enough money to finish what we need to finish.
Okay, it's not taxpayer money, to be clear. It is money from True Blood.
Yep.
One, but two, I fully agree with you, you need money to retain it. That's why we're saying just give us a portion of the 60,000 that's in escrow. We think 25 to 30 would be enough to pay off the water retention basins. Okay?
Yeah.
Take a look at the numbers, let us know if you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'd like to, and then the last thing, and you hit upon it, Craig, this is pretty important. I just want to make it sure it's like on record. The NPDES, which I know is outside the bounds of Buckingham, it expires in 3 months. We don't want that to happen, meaning we as in Buckingham shouldn't want that to happen. The homeowners don't want that to happen.
No, everybody wants you
We-
finished and out,
We
done.
are
by then.
all
We
together,
all want it done.
all together.
So the ask is, starting in January, like get the as-bills done, starting in January, let's put some meetings on the calendar to just knock this out. All the work is done. We have True Blood lined up, ready to sign. We have the NPDES, we have the DEP ready to go. Everything's ready. We just need to just push this through to dedication. And so I'm asking that we get some time on the calendar in January, starting in January, to knock this out so that we can get it done and just be done. That's it.
Yeah,
I think anything we have, and Craig, you have all the agreements back to Terry,
Yeah, they're all
Now,
done.
they're-
I
all the
believe- I
agreements
haven't heard back from Tara, but
are
I assume they're all
done.
done.
and now back to Terry. So he
The-
has them.
Terry
Yeah.
seems to think he can get True Blood, which is
We talked to True Blood.
great. But
Okay.
yeah, a lot of people have talked to him. I want to see the signatures and then we'll all be happy, but nonetheless.
We've done some things such as, we've paid recently the late fees to the Department of, to DEP on True Blood's behalf. We're doing
Okay.
things that are, I would say, kind of exceptional. These are thousands of dollars that we're doing as homeowners
I'm
Right.
aware of
to
that.
move this along. So we want to make sure we get it done before March.
I'm
Yep.
just saying that I hope you're correct that Mr. True Blood signs it, and I trust you're correct. There is one other issue, and that is the Wells estate also has to sign it. And hopefully Rod Eastburn, who represents the estate, will be okay with that. But, I mean, those are just two things out there that we don't have complete
That
control
we don't have
over.
complete
Yeah, we
control.
don't
That's the thing. I think from our perspective, we are all for getting this done before
100%.
March. And,
Okay.
and meaning, if we have to meet or however we want to do it, I think as Craig just said, there's just the
And
other
are you-
players involved that
This has
we
been
don't
going
have
on
total
20
control
years.
over.
And are you all for, if it looks okay, releasing a portion of the funds so that we can pay off the developer that did the work?
if we look at the numbers and we feel comfortable that we definitely have a cushion to pay everything, we'll talk about it. I mean,
Yeah.
because, listen, there's no situation that, and you've seen our actions over the years, there's no situations we're not for you guys. We just have to make sure that we protect the rest of your neighbors, meaning the other people in the township, to pay for things and, to make sure it's even-handed. But
Yeah.
we're totally ready to get this place dedicated, you know.
And we'll look at it and I can get
Yeah.
back in touch
Yeah.
with you, Matt.
That's it, thanks, I
I agree.
appreciate it, good to see everybody.
Well,
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
you, but it sounds like you have your act together, and I appreciate it.
Matt
He
does.
does.
We met years ago.
Matt
but it's
does.
been a while.
Yeah,
Have a good Christmas.
You too.
Say hi to Jill.
Well,
I'd like to have an opening public comment there. I didn't realize we'd be 45 minutes in. I'll try to keep it brief.
Well,
Damon-
neither
Damon
did we.
Durstein. What's that? Yeah, it was rough. 2141 Edgehill. I'm here on behalf of myself and my two lovely neighbors, Mr. Scott Yerkes and Mr. Ralph Dolia. Some excuse about kids' birthday parties and Christmas parties, so I got the lucky short straw. Real quick, I want to give you an update. We need some help from you folks. We're going to talk tonight about number 20 on John's top 50. John, do you know what number 20 is?
No,
All right.
my wife will know. I don't know.
Refresh you. Number 20, the Little Buckingham Mountain Trail connecting Upper Mountain Estates.
Correct.
2 years before the time warp of COVID, a few of us sat over here. I don't know if you remember this or not. And we
Yep.
said
Yep.
there was this idea about this trail being built, and we said, hey, have you thought about, there's roughly 50 acres that we all own from the proposed trail all the way to Upper Mountain Estates. There's several landowners. I'm one of them. And we said, hey, have you thought about the fact that we timber in there, we hunt in there, we shoot in there, ATV in there all year round? Okay, that was the last we heard of anything. I'm gonna give you a quick show and tell. This is the last 30 days back there, just so you have a sense of what's going on. I won't go through all these pictures, but the beauty of game cameras. Now, I won't show you everyone. This gentleman here, now most of these folks that we've encountered are either from Upper Mountain Estates or Forest Grove. This gentleman,
Well,
you can
they
see.
would be from the trail goes from Upper Mountain States to Buckingham Forest.
Yes.
Correct.
This gentleman,
To the
without it,
water
you can see
tower.
his leash, his dog's roaming the woods on our property. Nice family here. Let's see here.
Your property borders the path.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Within
And
about
so
12
does-
inches, I'll remind you.
So does Scott and Ron's property.
So this guy, his dog's roaming the woods. All right. Now, mind you, we've got, just some of you may know, John, you may know this, we've got a ton of coyotes back there.
Mhm.
First of all, these folks have no concept of, they will kill a dog, by the way, just as an aside. I'm a dog lover. They're totally unaware.
Yep.
This gentleman, again, there's his leash, no dog, who knows where the dog is. This guy, all right, I caught up with him. This is a blur. You can barely see him flying by on his brand new dirt bike. Now, when I intercepted him and had a chat with him, he informed me that he lived over here in Forest Grove. He said, I got this brand new dirt bike. I said, that's great. I see that. You're on our property. What's going on? Now, the icing on the cake was, and I wasn't home, but my wife informed me that about half an hour after I had a chat with this young man, his father showed up and proceeded to confront my wife about why I confronted his son on our property. Didn't show up to apologize, didn't send his son to say, hey, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been there. No. This family, who I talked to, nice family that moved in, informed me they just moved in from Long Island to Upper Mountain Estates. And we love it back here because we see all of our neighbors back here. I said, that's great. Would you do me a favor and tell your neighbors this is private land? And oh, by the way, we hunt and shoot back here all year round. If you hear the gunshots all last weekend, that's because Scott and his buddies were hunting.
So you're saying they're going off the trail?
They are everywhere back
Okay.
there.
But now, is it more of a problem than there used to be? Because I know before we even put the trail, we had complaints that from you guys
And
that
Scott.
people used to
And
walk
Scott,
in
yeah.
the woods back there.
Yeah, so I'll give you, let me finish, and then I'll give you the kind of summary. This is a young man that I stopped, got his name and address, had a chat with him, and then his father proceeded to confront my wife, okay? Now, the real final straw, because Scott, myself, and Ralph, we're pretty easygoing for the most part. We are not anymore, and I'll show you why. This is 4 days ago. This gentleman, if you can believe this, is carrying a gun. No camouflage, no orange. This is hunting season, mind you. Carrying a gun on Scott's property. Scott doesn't know who he is. I don't know who he is. We're finding some of these folks are telling the hunters that hunt there with our permission that they have permission from the landowner. They do not.
Well, where did he park his truck at?
We have no idea. The point is,
The point
as you
is he
can
walked up
see,
the path
it's
and got
out
on your
of
property.
control.
Yeah.
We've now posted, I put across the path to Upper Mountain, across the back path, we've signed it. There was a police report. You can talk to Officer Forbes. Scott filed it. When Officer Forbes went to chat with the young man's mother, she denied it. Like, it's a problem, all right? So it's out of control. It's essentially become an uncontrolled park back there. There's no, I don't know, is there a schedule to monitor it, to patrol it, to pick up garbage? Have any of you been back there recently?
Well, I walked there, but it was in the fall, or
But
at the end of the
This
summer.
was an issue before,
Yeah.
too, unfortunately. I mean, one
And
thing I
I
think too, I don't know if you've talked to any of like people that you know or have friends, but I can even talk to the homeowners association, particularly in Upper Mountain Estates, and put something out about,
in
you know.
Buckingham Forest.
Let's see,
Yeah.
Forest doesn't have.
They don't
that-
have a homeowners
they have a couple
association, but they
Facebook
have
pages.
something
The
in.
guy on the dirt bike said
He
he
lives
lived
two
in
up-
Forest Grove.
Yeah, but that,
He lives 2 doors down from the entrance, the big beautiful entrance with the sign over on Forest Grove. There's a sign at the cul-de-sac in the back, right as you go up the hill to the water tower.
it's Buckingham
Oh,
Forest.
Buckingham
He lives in
Forest.
Buckingham.
It is
Oh, he
Forest.
lives in
Sorry.
Buckingham Forest.
So-
Yeah,
You
so
kept
the-
saying Forest Grove,
yeah,
so I was getting
yeah.
Yeah,
confused.
off Forest Grove.
Yeah.
But here you have parents that obviously signed off on their child purchasing
Dirt bike.
ATVs
Yeah.
with the intention of not only, oh, and by the way, I'm assuming you're accepting the liability of them being, because they had to ride down the walking path.
No, trust me, we
Township.
don't have
But-
the liability.
No,
but
we
I don't
don't.
have the liability, and I don't, now they've been notified, we're notifying you. We don't want to keep wasting police resources, but if we have to, we're gonna start filing reports every time we get, and then we'll give them the pictures, they'll go knock on doors. We don't want to do that.
No.
But
Well,
we
I
are-
think we can
Maybe do a sign.
certainly
Yeah.
contact, we do have some signs, we can look at additional signage. I do just know that even prior to that, we were having issues out there. And I know before we built the path,
No, it's a natural.
when we would go do, it's
a
natural
natural
woods.
trail.
And we've talked over the years
Yeah, that
that,
goes up to,
It-
from the
it
water
was-
tower
they
and it goes right
We
along.
walked it. I live in Buck Forest.
I'm
Yeah.
sure
So,
my
so
Yeah.
we
down there.
walked
and I'm
it
not
before.
saying
I mean, we
anything,
don't- we
I
never
just
went
know
off the
that
trail,
they
but-
were, you know, unfortunately, whether you have the path or not, we had the bikers back there, we had the other people back there, but maybe, since we have the path, maybe we can get some info out to,
Right.
you know, Upper Mountain Estates and everything to put reminders out that, hey,
Or
listen,
signs.
here's a reminder,
Or signs.
you
I
have
think-
that.
Yeah, I mean, I think
you
it's a
know,
great
you
idea,
have
and
that.
I was gonna suggest, if you send a letter to everybody in the neighborhood, even attach a map and say, listen, everything that way, you can't be back there. And let
Well,
them know.
it's a trail, and the trail goes along the spray fields. And it's
No.
all,
Well, no,
It
I
goes
mean,
on my
it
property.
Right, but
meanders
it does,
in the
but it
woods, it
goes
goes
along.
by your
Yeah.
property there, yeah.
so.
But we can certainly work about getting that out and the dogs and that. I mean, we can try our best, but I know we were, unfortunately, we were having
We
this
had
issue even
problems with this
before the
before.
path, and maybe the path can at least get people onto the path, because
I mean,
you know.
yeah, and these people are completely oblivious. We don't veer off because anybody could have a gun or they're hunting on their property. It is so dumb to veer off a trail when you don't know who owns a
It's-
property.
but
It's just common sense.
You're veering off a trail because, as John said, there's a trail, but it's open woodland and they think it's a park.
Well,
And so-
right, and there's no consideration for, it seems like there's a pattern that folks that I've encountered happen to be, shall we say, newer guests from New Jersey or Long Island.
Yeah.
And they think that they'll just, I mean, personally, when the gentleman showed up, it's probably a good thing I wasn't home. When he showed up and with my wife.
Yeah, there's no reason for
Oh,
that.
and-
yeah.
And
That's crazy.
it's out of control.
Yeah, next time, she should just immediately call the police and say, get off my property.
Mm-hmm.
The last quick question, just as more of a curious thing, and I'd like to kind of just understand the process, because I think it kind of leads up to where we are today. So I received an unsolicited phone call, this was last September on the 26th, from a Tom Kelso. I don't know Tom too well, but he called me and he informed me that heavy equipment was being moved in that day, with excavation beginning the next day, the 27th. And I said, Tom, why are you calling me? He said, you'll need to call Dana, the township. So Dana, my question to you is, why did Tom call me? Why was he asked to call me 24 hours prior, a road is being built 12 inches off my property line?
Well, Damon, my understanding is that you knew that the path was going in and everything, and that we had Tom, who oversaw the project
Water
and the
engineer.
trail. He's one of our engineers, contacting and keeping in contact with the residents out there that we were doing this. Because this was the trail we had talked about many years ago before it even started going. So my understanding was he was the point of contact with the residents. I'm surprised if he hadn't talked to you sooner than that. I hadn't heard that until just now that you didn't have any notification
No
until
notification.
that.
And the only reason I was more curious about it is I know, because I'm part of Act 319, that many moons ago when I had to do my Act 319, my forestry work, I spent about a year, many thousands of dollars in legal fees to do work that I was permitted to do, and I had to give notice to all the folks on Upper Mountain Estates within, 500, I forget the number is, but.
Yeah,
Well,
They're different,
that's
they're different laws.
it's
That-
a
those lie
forestry
different.
permit.
So really what I'm asking is,
Well, that's a
Was there a
forestry permit.
process?
That's a different process.
Exactly.
And I know you were familiar with it, and I know you didn't really want the
I didn't
path.
have any input, that's why I'm asking the question. The first thing I knew about it, that it was actually happening, was literally 24 hours, and Tom
Well,
called
the
me.
township actually purchased the land some time ago.
Yeah.
Way before.
And I
COVID.
think you were aware of it then when
From
we
Deschamps.
purchased the land
Yep.
from Mr. Deschamps.
Literally, the last I heard of it was, I don't know how many years before COVID, but when 3 or 4 of us sat right here and asked, hey, have you considered it? So I guess what I'm wondering is, was there ever any,
It was discussed
was
in
there
a
a
lot
meeting where
of,
it was discussed?
Oh,
where
yes.
they-
yeah, and
Yes.
there were budget
Many-
meetings
many
where it was
years.
discussed.
It's part of the
and-
Buckingham Township Trail Plan. It was
Yeah.
many, and Damon, we talked about the trail years ago. So that's why I'm kind of surprised
And
to
we
say
had to
that.
go through with the Deschamps family and all that, so it was a long process.
I'm just
Yeah.
letting you know, my first, that I was
Yeah.
notified was when I heard heavy equipment coming in, and I got a phone call 24 hours from Mr. Kelso the day before. I'm like, that's kind of bizarre. I'm letting you know, what it is, what it is.
Sure.
These are the kind of things that really frustrate homeowners, okay? I'll just leave it at that. That's why, the concerns we brought up 2 years before, when it was first a little idea that was, hey, this may happen down the road, we voiced, and it's exactly what's happened today. That's why we're here.
We actually got a
Listen, when
state
we
grant.
brought up concerns, now we got a problem.
Yeah, we got a state grant for it. and-
Pico grant for that,
Pico grant,
yeah.
Pico grant, yeah.
Well, I'm concerned for you. I'm not a dog person, and I'd really be pissed if people had their dogs running around my.
I
I
would.
love dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a dog
But I
lover,
have
but
them on a
it's-
leash.
I
Yeah.
like your
Yeah,
dog.
I have them on a leash.
What I really don't like, though, like I said,
But-
not to beat a dead horse, but when someone shows up on my property, that's.
No, they
No
should.
question
And
about it.
Scott's, I talked to Scott and I'm like, listen,
And so,
we got guys with guns walking on the property.
Well,
now.
that's an immediate call to the police department. 'Cause
Yeah,
if you're
definitely.
an idiot and you're hunting on someone's property, you deserve a cop coming.
well,
That's my opinion.
yeah, I mean, on one side is your property, the other side is the township spray fields. And there's no place to park except maybe the cul-de-sac at Upper Mountain Estates. Unless somebody walked in from Buck Forest, but I just can't imagine. I have no idea, but.
Anyway.
Well, I
was
know a
just-
lot of the bikes have been ridden back there from the
So
kids
we're
for-
gonna do a sign
years.
and
Oh my God,
notify
yeah,
the,
people swimming in
I don't know, is anyone
Spray
gonna read a
fields,
sign?
for God's sake.
I think the
And
mail
they
is
wanna
probably
get
the
out.
best.
I do
That's-
too.
that's
We're gonna
easy to
notify
watch.
both
A mailing to
neighborhoods.
all the
I-
residents in both developments.
I agree.
I totally agree.
And I haven't been on that trail since I was chasing down Scott's cows when he escaped from the farm, and I was on a four-wheeler that
Come
day.
on back, we'll give you the tour.
And it took me right to the back of Scott's house.
Yeah.
And over to the,
Thank you for
over to the
listening.
golf.
and
Oh.
hopefully
Yeah,
we'll
no
let you know
problem.
if it's continuing,
Sure.
but it is a madhouse.
Yeah, let us know, because this is the first time I'm hearing of it, is tonight, so.
And we were, I mean, we
Good,
kind of
let
let
me
it
know.
slide for a while, and we're
Sure,
like, okay.
sure.
No, you gotta let us know,
But
otherwise.
now it's become like
It's a
a
problem.
daily occurrence at
Yeah.
all hours of the day, weekends. My other neighbor Ralph had a whole family show up in his backyard. He's like, what are you guys doing here? They're like, oh, we're walking on the, no, you're not. It's
Yeah, you're on private
that
property.
way, half a mile.
Okay.
Thank you for
Damon, have a good Christmas.
Yeah.
Thanks for waiting and talking. Okay, anybody else?
Lee's out there.
Anybody else for
We
public
did
comment?
discuss, we have a whole page that Jill and Dana created for us
Silhouette.
about. You want me to make a copy before you? Okay.
Silhouette.
I'm gonna make a copy for
Is there any other public comment?
you.
Nope.
Let's see
Okay.
what he wants. We should ask
So,
him.
I actually have to turn it back on my iPad. Hold on.
See
Okay,
what we'll
board
talk about.
comments. Maggie, did you have anything?
I do. I have a comment.
Excellent, go ahead.
It really makes a difference when residents, neighbors come to a meeting and voice their opinion.
Yep.
It really makes a difference. That's one thing. The second thing is, just as a reminder of the close of a year and going to the next year, if you want to watch this meeting, you can go on the website and go to YouTube and watch our meetings when they're recorded.
Always.
So,
I can't hear you, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
What?
She said,
Could you
can you
repeat what you
repeat it?
just said? I could barely hear you. If you want to watch this meeting,
Yeah, she just said if you wanna watch the meetings, you can go on the township website and watch the meetings.
so you're now streaming the meeting?
No, they're
Yeah.
recorded.
We record them, we've been recording them for 15 years. We record them, we put them on the website, you can watch them at your own convenience.
Yeah.
But we haven't.
As a convenience. Thank
That way you
you.
can watch them at any time.
And then my other is have a great holiday.
Perfect.
Great, okay.
You don't care about me, Paul?
Oh, yeah, no, sorry.
Everyone have a wonderful holiday. Okay,
Okay.
Paul, take it away.
Dittos. Everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, great holidays.
Okay,
Okay, now,
you're on.
the Buckingham Township Administration Building offices will be closed December 22nd at noon and all day December 25th and 26th. The offices will also be closed on December 29th at 3 p.m. and all day on January 1st, 2023. Also, I wanted to say, thank the staff who was, I forgot to say this, at the public,
The tree lighting?
the tree lighting with Santa. Santa came, we always thank
Fun.
Santa. It was lots of fun, and, you know, it was a good showing, even though it was like pouring, raining and stuff. So, and we thank the East Choirs, they always come.
Central Buxy's.
And so it was a great showing, and thank you for the staff, Santa, and the East Choir.
And the fire truck
That's
who
the
brought
fire
Santa
truck.
to us.
And the
Correct.
fire truck.
It was awesome. The December 27th, 2023 Board of Supervisors meetings are canceled.
Tonight's the meeting.
Tonight's the meeting. The annual Board of Supervisors reorganization meeting and regular business meeting and work session will be held Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024, beginning at 5 p.m. The annual Board of Auditors reorganization meeting will be held Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024, at 6 p.m. 3, consideration of, I make a motion, we approve the payroll for the weeks ending November 19th, 2023, and December 3rd, 2023, and the bill list for the meeting of December 13th, 2023. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second.
Oh, you
Okay,
got
so
it.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Okay, perfect. Any comments? By the way, it's in the amount of $915,989.58. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion, we approve the draft supervisor minutes of November 15th, 2023 work session and the November 15th, 2023 regular business meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Number 5, make a motion, we accept various departmental minutes and advisory board minutes of Code Enforcement Monthly Statistical Report of November 2023. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 6, make a motion, we approve resolution number 2602, a resolution of the Township of Buckingham, Bucks County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, fixing the earned income tax rate, local services tax rate, and the realty transfer tax rate for the fiscal year 2024. Do I have a second?
Second. I'm sorry, man. You say it from now on.
You say, you're supposed to say it.
I was trying to speed it up.
Yeah.
You
Just
go.
have the vice chair
Go ahead,
say
be
it.
fast.
Vice Chair, go ahead, okay. Maggie gave me a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion, we approve resolution number 2603, a resolution of the Township of Buckingham, County of Bucks, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, fixing the real estate tax rate for the fiscal year of 2024. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Speed.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 8, I make a motion, we approve resolution number 2604, a resolution of the Board of Supervisors, Buckingham Township, Bucks County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, authorizing the establishment of a checking, savings, and investment accounts, and designating various institutions to serve as depositories for the funds of the township in 2024. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 9, make a motion, we approve resolution number 2605, a resolution of the Board of Supervisors, Township of Buckingham, County of Bucks, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Township Secretary's certification of 2024 budget preparation and publication. Do I have a second?
Yes, second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 10, I make a motion we approve resolution number 2606, a resolution of the Township of Buckingham, County of Bucks, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, appropriating specific sums estimated to be required for the specific purposes of municipal government, hereinafter set forth during the year 2024, and adopting the annual budget reflecting these amounts. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 11, I make a motion we approve resolution number 2607, a resolution of the Board of Supervisors of Buckingham Township, Bucks County, Pennsylvania, for the purpose of amending the 2023 budget.
Option 1.
Option 1.
Okay, thank you. Option 1. 2607, option 1. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Chairman's always
Speed right
last.
along.
Chairman's always last. Okay. Am I on 13? No, I'm sorry. Number 12.
12.
I make a motion we approve a 2-lot subdivision plan for the Pearson Tract, 3933 Burnhouse Hill Road, tax map parcel 06-004-058, per the First Amendment to the Agricultural Land Preservation Grant of easements dated November 15th, 2023. Do I have a second?
You have a second.
Okay.
Discussion.
May I say
Yes.
something? This would be contingent upon the easement that you approved, amenities that you approved at your last meeting. You guys signed it. They haven't signed it yet.
Oh, okay.
So I think you can approve it, but we have to wait for their signature for it to become
Okay.
official.
Okay.
So I'll just make a short amendment to my resolution saying that we're going to approve it on condition. Obviously, they sign it.
They signed the amendment to the
They
easement.
signed the amendment to the easement.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have a second to that?
Second.
amendment? Okay, perfect. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, number 13, I make a motion we accept the offer, hold on, something popped up. We're accepting the offer of an extension of an allowable review time under the provisions of the PA Municipalities Planning Code to February 28th, 2024 for the McKee Development Township File SA 2020-01. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Night engineering note. Do I, Dana, this note?
No, the note is that the key plan will be coming
Yeah.
to your
your
reorganization
meeting.
meeting.
Got it, okay.
That's
Number,
all.
number 14.
It's a long way of saying that.
I was like, wow, that's
It's a
long.
lot of
Do I have-
notes
do I have
for,
to read
they're
it?
coming to the next
Yeah, we
meeting.
were told that. We were told that.
Yes. Number 14, I make a motion, we accept an offer of an extension of the allowable review time under the provisions of the PA Municipalities Planning Code to January 2nd, 2025 for the Buckingham Valley Veterinary Center, Township File LD 2023-03. Do I have a second?
You have a second.
Do we
And
have a
they're at the zoning hearing board this.
I was gonna say that.
discussion?
They're gonna be at the zoning hearing board December 18th.
Got it. Okay, thanks. Okay, perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Aye. Number 15, I make a motion, we approve the developer's request to extend the date by which the improvements are to be completed as set forth in the Stormwater Facility Development Contract to December 14th, 2024 between Sugar Bottom Farms LLC and Buckingham Township, tax map parcel 6-17-61. Do I have a second?
You have a second.
Okay, discussion.
Where exactly is this?
And sugar is, it's not,
61.
It's
Is
not
this
by,
the-
it's not by the corner, is it, Lori?
It's the Heusler property.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He was,
Hey,
well,
I
it was,
thought that,
it
but
was,
then I couldn't find a date on the,
it was the designer house at one point.
Oh.
No, there was a lot of movement on it,
yes.
Yeah,
and then nothing.
it was the
Wow.
designer house.
For,
And it
He's
was at the
making, I think he's making kombucha now. And dog treats.
Well, it was preserved, and then he's always doing things on it, and Rich is out there, and,
Well,
Yeah.
and
there
then he
were
got in
agreements
trouble,
reached.
and then he
yeah.
got back into compliance,
Exactly.
and then he.
That was
Okay,
years
that's what,
ago.
I
That was
thought that,
15 years ago, okay.
Okay,
thank you.
okay.
All in
Still
favor?
going on.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
sorry.
Oh, man. Sorry. I literally just got rid of my thing and I need to see. Hold on, sorry. Okay, I got it.
16.
Did I just sound like Joe Pesci there for a second? Okay. Okay, I got this. What number am I on?
16.
16.
Okay, thank you.
French school.
Okay, perfect. Well, is this something you want to do, Maggie?
I can do it.
Or? Well, I'm saying because it's Friends School. Do you want to do
No,
it?
it's fine, go ahead. We're just giving him an extension.
Oh, okay. That's all right. Okay, I make a motion. We accept the developer's request to extend the date by which the improvements are to be completed as set forth in the land development contract to December 14th, 2024 between Buckingham School Gymnasium and Science Building and Buckingham Township, Township File LD 2022-01. Do I have a second?
Second,
Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Boom, 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 boom. 17. Make a motion we complete development's request to extend the date by which the improvements are to be completed as set forth in the stormwater facility development contract to December 23rd, 2024 between Edward J. Bussinger and Karen A. Bussinger and Buckingham Township tax map parcel 6-69-21, which is lot 22 of Stony Mead subdivision, Township File SA 98-05. Do I have a second?
Second, speaking of Stony Mead.
And I might just
Discussion.
note, this is one of the things that has to be finished before March 15th in order to, so it's important they get this done.
March 14th,
Well,
2024.
Can
Yeah, well, it's outside of our control is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's another one of those things that we don't,
Well, what,
I mean, they're moving towards it.
yeah, but I'm gonna ask a silly question. Should we give an extension then till next year if they have to do it by
well, we're
March?
giving it
Yeah.
to the extension the date the permit runs
The
out.
permit runs out.
Got it,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Okay, any other discussions?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Just making a note.
My gosh, there's a lot of things here. Number 18, can I make a motion? We approve the amendment of grant of easement to Buckingham Township between Thomas M. Trisecki and Susan M. Trisecki, Sarah Kolmari, Konsinski, and Richard Kosinski in Buckingham Township for tax map parcel 6-6-39 and 6-6-39-11. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
This is just an arrangement that we're redefining a legal description in a prior easement to include an area that was not included that is in the stormwater basin.
Okay.
So hence, it's just a substitution of legal description between the old easement, and that's what this does, is corrects it.
Okay.
And this is on a lot, a small lot that was subdivided off of what originally was approximately 100 acres
Yeah.
of the Trisecki farm on Long Lane.
Mhm.
And there's a tiny bit of forest down off of, what's the street that actually?
Bittersweet.
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 And there's a for
cul-de-sac.
sale sign up there that I didn't know it was on Trisecki's or what, but there's a for sale sign on one of the farms up there.
On Long Lane?
Yeah.
I don't think it's Trisecki.
No, not that.
Oh.
I just drove by it yesterday and I saw it, and I went, that's weird.
Okay.
So we discussed it.
Okay.
Maggie,
All in
second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 19, I make a motion we release an escrow with consideration of approving an escrow release number 10 for Fenton's Corner site Township File SA 2013-03 in the amount of $613,245.40. Do I have a second?
Second,
Any discussion?
whoa.
Yeah.
Toll wants to,
Nope.
they're gonna be dedicating by the end of next year?
Well, that's what they say.
Ha! That would be the
They've
quickest.
turned
That
over
would be
a new
wonderful.
leaf.
That'd be fun.
That would
That'll
be
be a
awesome.
miracle.
That would be awesome.
It would be great if they
Yeah.
could dedicate.
Well, time is money. Maybe they've learned that.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, number 20, additional business manager item. Consideration of approving the separation agreement and release between Buckingham Township and Michael S. Gallagher. Dana?
Second.
Yep.
Okay, any discussion?
Nope.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Dana, was there any additional managers items?
I have nothing else for your business meeting. We did not finish our executive
Which
session,
I'll talk about now. So
which you have to announce.
we did have an executive session, and we're going to continue having an executive session regarding, number one, personnel, number one, regarding a lawsuit, number two, was it mostly personnel lawsuit?
And
land?
potential land preservation.
Potential land preservation.
Yep.
Okay, if that's not it, I make a motion, we close the December 13th, 2023 Buckingham Township Board of Supervisors meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I have to stretch out my chairmanship.
Get it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.